Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the eSports Report. I'm Chris Puckett, and tonight we are doing COD League matches, live casting, joined by Maven, the great Maven this evening. Maven's gearing up, getting ready for UMG this weekend, but Maven, before we get to UMG, we got to finish out the regular season of Season 3, and I know you're coaching a team these days. What happened with Curse last night? They were one game away from being eligible.
They were, really, they needed one win. It hurts to think back last week that there were two different round 11s that came down to like a 1v1 in which they would have won a series. And then this week, all they had to do was close out against TK. They 3-0'd FaZe with the quickness, and then just, I don't know, man, they've been playing Respawn so well. It just had one really, really awful side of Blitz to start off Game 3, and from there it was just a nightmare. But they're going to bounce back. Unfortunately, will not be participating, though, in the Season 3 playoffs.
How did they take it? Were they okay with everything? Were they really frustrated afterwards? Because I know they went on a bit of a run. Last week alone, they went 5-2.
Yeah, they were definitely frustrated because when I joined with them, I think they were 11 or 12-20. It wasn't looking good. They were in, I think, 11th place when I hopped on board. Mostly, I'll be honest, Chris, I think people underestimate how important positive communication is. They're bickering a lot. They played the blame game, and my job, I basically came in, laid down the law. You're going to be nice to each other. During game, it's going to be all positive communication. They turned it around. They started playing really well. And, to be that close, and they thought they had it, it was kind of heartbreaking, man. They were upset for sure. They expected to be in. They felt they deserved to be in. And to fall a game short was brutal.
Well, a lot of people were a little bit surprised to hear that you were going back to a coaching role, and not many knew that before you were in the spotlight as a caster, you had previously coached. Talk to me a little bit about your experience in the past, and then now what it's like working with the Curse guys.
Well, the main reason, I think what happened is I was hoping, it was right when I kind of started casting, when Scott and I first came over to the scene, and we wanted to get involved with that Columbus event. But we were new to the scene. Obviously, we were pretty low on the totem pole at that point for casting, so I still wanted to get involved with Call of Duty. I coached Unite, which at the time was basically Optic Nation. It was Ricky, Saints, Imbos, and Killa. Ended up coaching them to third place, and my role on that team was very similar going in. They were a headache when it came to communication. You can imagine those personalities and how they would go at it to a degree. But it was fun. I really, really enjoyed it. And now, basically, financially, I'm pretty much full-time casting, involved in games now. We're basically a year later, and I just moved to Atlanta with Scott because he's working with Hi-Rez, and basically right when I moved down here, Curse reached out to me. I'm only about 30 minutes from the team house. They needed some help. They wanted somebody involved with experience in this stuff. And really, it worked out for both sides and came together pretty quickly.
Well, Curse is not going to be at the Season 3 playoffs, but they will be at UMG. I know you're going to be casting there as well. So big tournament this weekend. But tonight, for anyone who has missed the action and didn't tune in last night, let's catch you up real quick where we're at in our Season 3 standings. Of course, Envy, they're sitting on top of the totem pole at number 1. Tonight, though, they could be in danger. If Rise Nation goes 2-0 this evening, Envy could potentially lose that number 1 seed. Big story here is Optic Gaming currently holding on to number 3. If they go 2-0 tonight, they will lock up a third-place finish. Those seeds so important when we come into the playoffs. Then we have Nation currently sitting at 4th, just above FaZe, who finished 24-20. FaZe is done. Nation, still 2 matches to go. Most Wanted, they secured their spot last night thanks to some big losses from EG, as well as Curse. They will be in the league. We don't know exactly what their seed will be, so they're playing out for seed this evening. We'll see them playing. The big story, though, is on the second card. Right now, you're going to see Denial sitting at that top spot at number 7. They're also locked in for Season 3. They were able to slide in thanks to big losses once again from Curse, from EG. TK on the bubble, currently holding on to the 8th spot. They have the tiebreaker win over Curse. As you see, they have the same record. But TK really needs Vanquish to go, just choke it up tonight. If Vanquish wins 2 matches this evening, they are in. They are guaranteed a spot in Season 3. EG also rooting against Vanquish. So tonight, Noble Vanquish is our squad to watch. They determine their own fate. If they go 1-1, we have some interesting tiebreaker scenarios. So EG, let me just break it down real quick here, Maven. EG is hoping that Noble loses at least one match. If Noble lost one match, EG wins both of their matches tomorrow, EG is in. TK needs both Noble and EG to lose one match each. If that happens, TK is in. So some interesting scenarios coming into tonight's matches. A lot of pressure on the Noble guys.
Well, it's crazy because I swear, I was keeping track of it obviously for the Curse guys, and I just kept thinking, going back into last week, every time, they were struggling so much. TK and EG were having a couple like O2 nights last week, and was really struggling to get it together. And I kept thinking, oh, they're finally out. Oh, they're finally out. And they've just been surviving, but like this, if one team loses one game, we're still alive scenario for like a week now. And here we are. They're both still having a chance. But like you said, it's really all dependent on what goes down tonight with Noble. And that's where it's going to be tricky because their first game is, against Justus, I believe, which is a team that has struggled clearly just by the standings in this league so far this season. And they do have home advantage against them, which is a very, very good thing there for Noble. They're going to be away against Most Wanted. Like you said, I was hesitant to say, Most Wanted, they've already locked it in. We'll see how hard they're going tonight. But like you said, we watched that Envy match against EG. Envy was going hard.
Yeah. Envy going into game number 5, knowing what was on the line for EG, did not take it easy on them by any means, beat them in that game 5 and handed them their first loss. EG was able to bounce back later in the night. A lot of controversy around the forfeit that they got from Optic Nation in game number 1. A gun camo. Eggs going to the rules. He was correct when it comes by the rules. And got his team the win.
Ricky was caught in the same thing by Curse last week. So,
and he didn't fix it. So
my opinion is, come on, man.
Come on.
Yeah. But Puckett, just real quick, I am in the lobby. I did send you an invite. So you might want to check to see if that came through.
Getting these notifications. I'm trying to jam up. It's not going so well. Xbox One.
Hey, you're sick. We're going to bear with you.
It's a fun party right now. Loving it. I'm going to go back to the main menu. Will you send it again there for me, Maeve?
Sir. Get that over, and then pretty much I think we're waiting on 1 or 2 players to get in the lobby. But for the most part, we're ready to roll. If I could go to capital T here and find you on my list, that'd be amazing.
There you go. Once again, guys, tonight, EG and TK rooting against Noble Vanquish. Noble Vanquish, they have their own fate in their hands. If they go 2-0, they will secure the last playoff spot. Playoffs going down October 24th through 26th in Columbus for Season 3, a $75,000 tournament. So a lot on the line for these teams tonight.
Yeah, this is huge. And, part of me, especially since I'm with Curse now, I wouldn't say there's anyone in particular I'm rooting for, but you gotta, to a degree, as a fan of Call of Duty and Ghost in general, with the season, not this particular season, but with the year that EG's had, it's kind of hard not to want them there. It doesn't make sense to a degree to not have them play in the playoffs with the number of events they've won over the last year. So part of me is rooting for that, just because you want to see those juggernauts go against each other.
Yeah, it would just be a huge blemish on a fantastic year from Evil Geniuses if they weren't able to make it in. Honestly, I hope Noble wins this first match so that it's insanely tense for everyone going into our 8:30 matchup when they face off against Most Wanted. But Justus is a squad that's been coming in and taking big upsets off of teams, even after they've been eliminated. They've picked up 3 major wins that I can remember off of teams that were either on the bubble or within the top 4. So, man, you can't sleep on Twiz and the boys. It's going to be a good fight here in our first game.
Well, if I remember right, I think it was last week, Curse was going to play Justus. I mean, the guys were talking about how this, should be a pretty easy win. Not talking trash, but just, they haven't been playing well in the league, Justus. And I believe it went to game 5, like round 10. It was so tight. Twiz on his host was just absolutely crushing. The point is, even if a team's struggling in this league, they're all pro players. They're all capable of beating each other any given day, especially when it's online play. So can't take anyone for granted, and I wouldn't be surprised if Noble has their work cut out for them.
Well, maybe I have some great news. I just got a message, error. Cannot connect to the Go servers right now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, let me know when you're back in the game. I'll try and invite you again. I know a couple times I've just had to restart my box, and that's a result.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna give him that quick boot. So appreciate you staying here patiently with us. So what are the major surprises from Season 3 that have caught you off guard? I'm most surprised that it's really coming down to the wire in these last 2 nights to decide who's going to make it in and who's out.
Several things I think have kind of caught me off guard. One, I mean, just EG where they are. The fact they're battling for top 8 after just cruising through last season. I don't think NB being up top is really that big of a surprise. Where the Optic teams finished, not really that surprising. TK, you know, where they are battling to get in, this is kind of where they were in Season 2. But honestly, the two biggest surprises for me were Most Wanted and Noble. 2 teams that came together really at the end of the season. Was what Elevate switched, and then Most Wanted ended up, I believe, purchasing that spot to hop in late into the game with the dropout. So to have both those teams, one already in top 8, another one having the best opportunity to close it out, I think that's impressive.
And I think one of the most impressive portions of this for me was the Noble Vanquish story. I mean, this is a team that came in as Elevate, was 0-8. New group comes in, switches up the roster, starting roster comes together, and they finish with a positive record as a team. I think they went 15-12 after that 0-8 start. So pretty impressive stuff from this team. I'm wondering, do they have enough in the tank to finish and get over that very rough challenge that they had? I mean, 0-8 in the hole before you even start playing together. That's just brutal, but they've been powering through.
That's where they were dealing with all that stuff with, they had Mad Cat and whether or not he was going to need to move here, and just so much drama kind of going on beginning after getting that top 4 in the open bracket to qualify. But I mean, look at the squad. I mean, Miyagi's a guy that took some talk, I guess you could say, for his online versus LAN ability at first, and he's kind of begun to overcome that with some ways he's performed on LAN. Chino has always been a monster. He's been one of Gandhi and I's favorite players for quite some time now. And the other guy, Slasher. I mean, Slasher's just been a beast, maybe underrated by some, but I know we were playing against them the other day. Curse, it was Octane S&D. He sniped all 4 members of Curse within 3.5 seconds. It was one of the filthiest things I've ever seen. The kid's he's a freak. He's a very, very good player, and a huge reason why they've gotten this far. I hate to say this for TK and EG fans, but I would not be surprised at all if they close this out 2-0 and wrap it up today.
Yeah, TK, EG. Hope you guys enjoy the show tonight. We know you're watching. Hope you got your popcorn ready. Unless you're like me on Fantasy Football Mondays, you just can't watch the end of the game. You just got to turn it off and hope.
I just invited you again there, Puck.
All right.
And this time it actually showed me that I sent you an invite. I did not last time, so I believe, you might have been having some issues on your end.
Power invite. Accepting. All right, Ghost. Ghost servers. I'm in. No. I was in and then I got out. Send it one more time, Ave. I saw it in the background. I saw all the names back there.
Oh, please pop up this time. Hopefully it shows the... it didn't pop up that I invited you. Try and see if you can accept that one again. If you hit the middle button, go to your notifications, see if it lets you accept that. If not, you might have to relog into the game. This is... Yes. Oh, there he is. Make sure you get that broadcaster mode enabled. Let's get ready to rock.
Start it up, boys. We're good. We are good. I was stressed out, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit stressed out right there. I was about as stressed as Noble is coming into this match. Their life on the line in Season 3. They go 2-0 tonight. They control their destiny, their guaranteed cash, as they'll be playing in the $75,000 tournament later in October. Against this Justus team, let's take a look at our rosters here. Justus playing with BL Fire, Doubt, Sin, and Twiz. Same group of guys that they started the season with, and this Justus team, as you all will remember, at the start of Season 3, this was like a 20-minute before the roster deadline squad that was put together. Felt like Justus came in right at the buzzer, very much like Radius, or who is now Most Wanted.
Yeah, lots of kind of last-minute changes due to how stuff played out. Again, that's why I find it that much more impressive that Most Wanted sealed the deal, and Noble's got an opportunity here. But it looks like we are getting ready to hop into Game 1. So Noble fans, TK fans, and EG fans, strap on your helmets.
Oh, yeah. All right, Maven, I want to start off, of course, with this Noble team. Who is our player to watch? You were talking up Slasher, but on a map like Sovereign Domination, who do you think is going to put up the most kills?
I'd like to see what they're running. Looks like we are going to have 4 vectors here to kick it off. Let's start with Chino, one of the classiest girls here in this, and we may have a restart unless sides were changed. Now it looks like we also have a side flip here. But yeah, let's kick it off with Chino.
Now, why do you guys like Chino so much?
He's just the nicest person on the planet. He really is. He looks like a little koala bear.
He is a nice guy. I
really
love his
is.
positivity on Twitter. One day I sent him a pizza from Papa John's. So
There you
on
go.
board with Chino off the break, throw on that Oracle mode for you, and you can see on your mini-map in the upper left, it's a heavy push towards that control tower coming from Justus. Noble going for the even spread.
And Chino here able to pick up a big kill on the opposite caution. He might get some pressure here on B, but he is going to be able to possibly get this secure and big pickup there. There is one up top. Teammates going to need to cover him, but they were able to secure B early. So good break there for Noble. But like that, they get 3 down, and they're 2-hopping B now. So this looks like it's going to switch right over to Justus pretty quickly.
Going over to Miyagi. Miyagi doing damage early on. Already picked up 2 kills. Trophy system was down. Wasn't able to stay alive. Back to Chino, who's going to be challenging for B. But Justus getting that B flag out of the gates. They're setting the tone. And it's going to be up to Noble to get 3 down because Justus has done it to him twice now.
Yeah, and this is brilliant play here out of Justus so far. They've got A, B, they've got the cuts covered. They were able to neutral C, so those are going to be big points early for Justus. And I can't say enough, the biggest thing you're looking for this, when you flip B, you need to, as quickly as possible, get to aggressive positions on your opponent's side. Cut off those breaks as they're trying to cut the B, and you can get really, really easy kills in this game mode.
Miyagi falls, again, 3 down for Noble. Center last man standing was on B. He's cleaned up. Let's go to Sin. He's leading all players on top of the leaderboard for Justus at 5 and 3 with 2 captures already.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, it's been all Justus when it comes to B controls. They get 2 more down for Noble. I'm still watching Sin, who's just really covering low, able to peek the caution of Noble and also watch B. And he's trying to get a position here over by blue stairs. Get top control. He should be able to get 1 easy kill here in the back of the Noble player. And they're just rolling right now. I mean, look at the KD, 6-3, 7-3, 6-3 at the top of the board for Justus. And they've already got an 18-point advantage 2 minutes into this first side bucket.
Maven, talk to me a little bit about this guy, Mr. Sinfula. I know I've seen a few games, especially Search and Destroy, where he will just simply go off. But I don't know too much else about him. I've seen him kind of break out in Season 2. Made a name for himself here in Season 3, his team underperforming. But what do you know about Sin as a coach of Curse?
Well, for one reason, I lump Sin and Doubt together, just because I usually, they've been playing together for so long. It's, wow, Justus goes 3 down here. This might be time for Noble to try and get control. But they both, they strike me as those players that, they remind me of Tipsy on Curse a little bit. At times they can be incredible and at times inconsistent. You know, they'll put up those 35 bombs with a sub from time to time, but then also just have those negative 20 games here and then, just because they can be emotional players. They get down on themselves when they're not playing well. But again, the main point is both capable of putting up monster numbers.
Going back over to Noble now, Chino on your screen, trying to keep that C flag clear. Also watching B Street. Just as he jumps down from his perch, C is going to be challenged. His teammates there to collect the kills. Over at B, player on top of the ladder. Chino, trophies down, able to still get the kill somehow.
Yeah, that wasn't pretty. I mean, you see him getting the trophy down. He's got all this time to stare at the player, still able to pick up the kill, but Noble is 2 down now. What a comeback we've had here. They were down by almost as much as 20. They're about to tie it up right now if they can get B control, but Justus will take it. Chino's going to have a big engagement here, gets shot from Blue Street, and will drop. So as we wind down the final 90 seconds, we'll see if Justus can maintain this control, dump that lead back up, or if we can see the Noble comeback continue.
Miyagi battling for B fell. Now it's Slasher's turn. He's going to be met by all 3 players on that B flag. The 4th one starting to rotate around to check A. Now, coming down to the last minute here, this is going to be a pretty close side number 1. But Noble needs some momentum going into this half. They need to have a good start to this evening if they want any chance of getting into Season 3 playoffs. Miyagi on your screen now as Chino's taken down. He's the last man standing in the middle map. Can't get anything done. Slasher now going to be pushing up on this left side, and it seems now Noble a little bit panicked, pushing out 1 at a time, and it's definitely not working.
And, well, Justus may lose a bit of control here. I mean, I know there's only 30 seconds left, but they were able to get 3 down, take control of B. Justus has got to get forward movement there and cut off those spawns. they stayed in and around B and just got slaughtered as they let position go entirely to Noble there. But as it winds out, it's going to be pretty close. What, a 5-point game approximately once we get these last couple of ticks. I do believe I think host advantage for this one is going to be to Noble. So if they drop this first game, that's a huge loss. I mean, you need to take this game 1 dom on your host to win this series.
All right, looks like Noble's going to bring it back within 6 points. Your score as the clock ticks over, 82-77, a 5-point advantage for Justus going into our second side. Fairly close, but not a whole lot of expectations for Justus. And you got to think that, I don't know, if you're Justus, do you feel bad if you eliminate Noble and don't send them to the Season 3 playoffs?
I don't think you feel bad. I mean, I think that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to come out every night and play to the best of your ability. And I think that's why some teams in this position, you know, they might struggle against Justus. Just when you look at their record, you know, there are people that'll play down to their opponents at times. You don't bring your A game. You think it's going to be an easy win, and then you end up really struggling. And just look across. I mean, outside of Blindfire, they're all just absolutely crushing in the slaying department right now. But who are you on board with right now as we get started, Chris?
You know, I was hopping on board with Slasher to get this going. We'll go over to Justus momentarily. I got Sin highlighted. He's already back at the base for Noble, touching their A flag, forcing them to rotate back. We go over to Sin as he's taken down. And who do you want to watch from this Justus squad? Twiz, Doubt, Sin?
Let's go. Let's give Twiz some love. I mean, he's been the one that typically hosts for this team and puts up monster numbers from time to time. And he's able to clean up 1. He rotates the caution here. Might be able to pick up 2, but he will drop there to Slasher. You know, really, I'd kind of like to focus on the Noble side of things. As we have 4 down right now for Justus, and they're the team that really has everything on the line currently. Just taking a look, I mean, Chino doing everything he can. He's even across the board. He's got 7 caps. He's going to put this forward pressure. Rotate back to actually get A, and you see behind him on the minimap, there's one player that might be rotating to him. Who's that? That's Doubt. So Andy actually spawned a player at A, so Chino's going to have his hands full, and he is going to drop. That was a great play by Doubt.
Doubt causing problems. Miyagi can't handle it. There's a player still up top. Sender does get A back for the moment. Player still above. Doesn't know where the attack's coming from. Pre-aims up top, and he's going to be cleaned up down low. Back to Slasher. Slasher trying to keep B control. 2 players on it, and he's injured. Can't get the kills. Over to Chino. Chino with the desperate nades, but this flag back in Justus's control. Noble surging on that green side. Will they make the push all the way to C?
Yeah, you know, there are a couple players over there. Miyagi's in a good position to get both, but he actually is going to fall to the scuff jump there of Sin. And as we hit the 3-minute mark, it's still a 5-point game, so nothing's changed since the halfway point. Control is in the hands of Noble right now. We should see them finally get a lead control in this one. You see Slasher's going to be laying on the cap. Chino's got his blue streak covered. He's going to have a big fight here. He has 1 crawl to middle. He knows there's some out on green. Is he going to get the free fire here? No, he will drop. Big kill there by Blindfire on B.
Miyagi trying to take control of the control tower. Teammate right behind him saved his back, and now Miyagi with Slasher. What do they do here? Right now the A flag is wide open. That's where Justus is targeting. Do they go to C, or do they go back for their home flag? It looks like no one's going to be attacking C. This is a scary position right now for Noble.
Yeah, it really is, and what they failed to do, and what you have to keep an eye on, whenever you get control of B, the scariest spot is if they hit Snake hard. If they get under Snake, they can hit your home cap very quickly. And, you know, I wasn't paying attention for a second there to that area, but the way in which 2 players got to A, I got to think they sneaked through Snake, and they were not ready to cut that off at all. So that's given really complete map control away to Justus for a moment, but great job there by Noble to clutch it up and get the big kills, as they will have the 2 cap. And here we are again, Chris. This is still tied. This is going to be so tight going down to the wire.
Just a minute, 40 seconds left. 124 to 123. Noble with a small lead. Sender trying to keep that B control. Taking heavy fire over here on the server side. Pre-firing in. Knows there's someone on his flag, but he's surrounded by enemies. And Sender somehow staying alive is going to be able to push all the way to A now with his teammate getting that player off the B flag. Big plays.
Now, this is what you see. They just got 2 players on B. You see both breaking out. One is pushing green. I don't know that you need to flank the whole... Nope, Slasher flanked the whole way through green and got knifed. In my opinion, you wait on the street and try to watch them come out of green, and that's going to cause Miyagi to get flooded there by 2 players. That was 3 down for Noble, and this may give control of Nope, and that's what happens. Cinder gets a huge 2-piece, though, to keep this from only being a neutral.
Big plays when they need it most. 50 seconds left. Now almost a 10-point advantage. On board with Slasher for the moment. Slasher continuing to try and get behind the enemy line. Neutralize this A-flag. Players did just run upstairs. He missed him by a half second. His teammates in support try to get the kills, but that's 4 down for Noble. Twiz falls to his death. We go back to Sin, who's neutralizing or recapturing that A-flag. Meanwhile, Doubt is on the B flag with support. 20 seconds left, Maven. I think Noble has this locked up.
Yeah, I don't even think at this point a 3-cap would even get it for him. When they got that 4 down, I thought maybe they'd have a chance to try neutral C, make a miracle happen. But this first game should go to Noble. And that's great. I mean, for them, they were down, almost 20 points early on.
Yep.
Brought it back a lot closer at halftime. Were able to close it out there in the last 90 seconds or so. So great job clutching up by Noble. And some big numbers out of those guys, especially in the cap department, is, 9 caps for Miyagi, 8 for Slasher, 8 for Chino. They were all getting the objective work done.
Slasher showing you his 2-piece in the round-ending kill cam. He finishes on a 3-point spree to go 24 and 24. Miyagi leading the team and slaying, the only one to go positive as they got outslayed. But look at those caps. Miyagi having a hell of a game. 26-22, 9 captures, 8 captures from 2 of his teammates as well.
Yeah, they had to work for it. I mean, Justus, a lot of their points came from, holding down a 2-cap for a minute or two, getting a lot of points that way. I felt like Noble was getting all those scrap points, just getting the 2-cap, getting that neutral and holding it for 30 seconds, then battling back to do the same thing again a minute later. They really had to fight for every single point, but they do pull out the first game, and that's not what you want to see if you were a TK or EG fan.
It's not going to be an easy fight against Justus, but they did get one big win. Remember, it's a best of 5. We'll be back with game number 2 after this.